This episode is brought to you by Bai. It's Wonder Water. What makes Bai so great? It's simple. From Raspberry Lemon Lime by Sydney Sweeney to Zambia Bing Cherry and Palavo Pineapple Mango, Bai has antioxidants, electrolytes, and no artificial sweeteners. So for flavorful hydration, choose Bai. It's Wonder Water. Learn more about Bai and discover all of the exotic, bold flavors at drinkbai.com.
At Mayo Clinic in Florida, we're seeing the unseeable, using advanced imaging technology to uncover details that would otherwise go unnoticed, leading to more accurate diagnoses and treatments. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/possible. Mayo Clinic, you know where to go.
Oh, hello.
It's an exciting day. It's a big day, Jenny. It's an exciting freaking day, okay?
Prom is back. Buffy Prom 2024 is happening in Brooklyn. Prom proper, our 90s dance party extravaganza, will be happening on Saturday, April 20th. That's 420 at Brooklyn's Bell House. Dancing,
our favorite,
yay, music, yay,
place.
Fun. Hooray! Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't stay away from the Bell House.
We can't. We love it there.
But this year, prom is not just prom. Let us tell you about the beautiful prom witch that we have created.
Yes,
our
prom.
bespoke weekend.
It is a prom witch on trivia and Buffy watch bread, if you will.
I will.
This is a weekend affair. It begins Friday, April 19th. We are doing, for the first time ever, Buffy trivia. We're hosting it at a fantastic woman-owned brewery in Williamsburg, Brooklyn called Talea. Jenny, I didn't even tell you this yet, but last night I hung out with Joanna Robinson, and let me tell you what, Joanna Robinson is like, see you at trivia. Can I help? I would like to... Joanna Robinson, all she wants to do is participate in Buffy trivia and help us out because she fucking loves games. And no one games better than Joanna Robinson, honestly. Not an official announcement, but, you know, I have a feeling Joanna might have her hands in this one. Buffy trivia, Friday, April 19th. Then, after we dance and dance and dance the night away on the 20th at prom at the Bell House, Jenny, on the 21st, we're all going to roll in our sushi pajamas, return to the Bell House, watch 2 fan-selected episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer all together in a little afternoon pile. Popcorn will be popped. We will, you and I, at the very least, will have hot mics in hand in case we have any commentary we would like to add as the episodes play.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
I think it's going to be really, really fun. We're doing some stuff we haven't done before. I think it's going to be a real hoot. And prom is always a good time. Oh, my God. What am I going to wear? I got to start thinking about it now.
Now, so we don't have to scramble. Also, now we need 3 outfits.
No.
Listen, you can, if you are a patron, you can grab a ticket now. Tickets went up for pre-sale today at 10 a.m. Actually, you might be listening to it. Might not even be 10 a.m. yet. So if it's not 10 a.m., go sit by your computer. Wait till 10 a.m. Get that pre-sale code Eastern, 10 a.m. Eastern. Get that pre-sale code from our Patreon. All of our patrons get that pre-sale code 10 a.m. today, December 7th, Thursday. Tomorrow, Friday, December 8th at 10 a.m. Eastern, tickets will go on sale for the public. There are 2 ticket tiers. The first ticket is for prom and prom alone, just coming to Saturday night. And the VIP ticket, which they are limited, gets you into all 3 events. And Jenny, honestly, maybe the thing I'm excited about the most is that for the first time, we're going to have prom laminates. So if you have a VIP ticket, you get a laminate that gets you into all 3 events, which makes me feel like we're legitimate.
Now. Yeah. Finally, at long sweet last, we really exist.
All of this information can be found at bufferingcast.com/prom. Scoot on over there. If you have questions, if you have concerns, you can always reach out. hello@bufferingcast.com. It's going to be a good time, especially if you want to snag one of those entry to all 3 event tickets. We highly encourage you to get on over there and get that pre-sale code. We're very excited. We were supposed to have prom at the Bell House, and the year was 2020. And Jenny, we did not have prom in the year 2020 for reasons that need not be mentioned. So we're pretty excited to return to our home city and to prom the night away with all of you.
So beautiful. Can't wait. Etc.
While we're here and before we get into Slayers, I also just want to let everyone know if you, like me, have done none of your holiday shopping, the deadline is really approaching for shipping. So we have a lot of really fun merch in the store right now. All of this is at bufferingcast.com. Just click on shop. We've got a holiday ornament that says 'tis the season, whatever that means. We've got the Time is What Turns Kittens into Cats hoodie now on a black zip-up hoodie with white ink. If you're a hoodie nerd like Jenny and I are, I'd like to let you know these are printed on Gildan hoodies. They're pretty awesome. And there's tons of stuff in the store that will satisfy all of the nerds in your life if you still have to get those gifts.
Hooray!
All right, Jenny, let's go. Let's go talk about a little episode of Slayers, a Buffyverse story.
Let's do it.
Hear me, William Pratt. Hear me, you who were once called Spike. Hear me, killer of slayers, prince of liars, hell's own poet. I am Indira, the true queen of black magic. I call on the spirit of William the Bloody. I summon you to manifest in flesh once more, vampire incarnate. Rise and serve me. Rise and kill the witch who falsely claims my title and throne.
Hello and welcome to Buffering the Vampire Slayer Thunderclap. Huge audience applause. The stadium goes wild. A podcast where we are watching and we were watching and discussing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer famously. But then we finished. So now we are listening to and and discussing Slayers, a Buffyverse story, one episode at a time, spoiler free. I am hell's own poet, Jenny Owen Youngs.
God fucking damn it. The less prepared we are as a duo, the more dramatic Jenny's introduction becomes. Is what I've decided. That's the graph. Who am I? I'm Kristin Russo.
Joining me live today is the Prince of Lies, Kristin Russo.
Wow, I don't know why I felt honored by being named the Prince of Lies. I think it's because I got Prince, and I always get some kind of feminine title. So I was like, nice. I just installed a dishwasher by myself. I haven't turned it on yet, but it probably works. So I feel mighty and powerful in all realms except for this one where I have to talk about this episode of Slayers, and I am 90% prepared compared to my usual 210%.
Kristin, I have nothing but absolute faith in you.
Anyway, we are discussing the 6th episode of Slayers today, and this is the one where Indira and Spike do a little play at the stage called Alternate Dimension Spike's Grave. It's the one where Bang tricks Tara and combines forces with Cordelia. It's the one where Clem ate a lion and has some hairballs.
Ugh. Can I
anything
yuck.
big that I'm missing? Who knows? Not us.
I'm sure we'll get there. This episode was written and directed by Amber Benson and Christopher Golden, and it was co-directed and produced by Casey Wayland. It originally aired in a full season binge drop on October 12th, 2023.
Back when Jenny was only 41 and I was 42, and now we're both
good old
42.
Days. Not for too much longer, Kristin.
Not for too much longer, but I savor every morsel. All right, Jenny, what are your big feelings?
I wrote a little paragraph because I've been thinking about it a lot. Because I feel like after we taped the last episode, I felt like I had voiced some things that I was feeling wibbly about, but then I had not voiced too strongly the things that I was feeling really good about or something. If things felt out of balance, and I wanted to like do a little like clarification.
Cool.
If I may.
I allow it. Prince of Lies allows it.
Thank you. And how can I trust you? I'm having fun listening to this show. Just in case anybody felt like I wasn't having fun, I'm having fun. I feel like when we talk about Buffy, I have so much to draw on because I have watched the series a zillion times, and I have, I have like my favorites, and I know the whole arc. I know where we're going, and I know where we've been, and whatever. But when we talk about this series, I feel like I'm still figuring out how I feel while we're taping and beyond.
Yeah.
So I don't always say like everything that I'm thinking, and I don't always feel like we wrap up the episode and I'm like, yes, I said everything I meant to say, and to the direct, like the exact level that I wanted to say it, and blah, blah, blah. So I just wanted to look back on last episode and say how much I really loved Cordelia getting emotional, such as she is able, / staying numb with Indira during their conversation. And that is the stuff that is so... That to me is like the true... If the Buffyverse was a tomb, that kind of content is the gem of Amara concealed within, and it must be brought forth and brought into the light so that it can shine and glow and protect us. That is what I long for. That's the heart of the Buffyverse. Vampires and demons are sexy and fun, respectively. But the whole point of the show is a girl, her friends, their loves, their losses. And when we're digging into that stuff, I'm the most excited about this series, when we are getting our hands dirty in the hearts and minds of the characters that we love and the characters that we're meeting for the first time too. And I feel like even Buffy, the television show, struggled to find the right balance of horror and comedy and camp and drama, particularly in its first season. So I just wanted to say all of that. And there have been some like real devastating and heartbreaking moments already in this series. There have been some real incredible moments, and I'm looking forward to more of them. And I just wanted to say all of that because I think pretty much anytime I do or say anything in front of anyone else, I spend the rest of my life lamenting what I have said and done, and fearing that I perhaps may have misrepresented my own heart. So I just wanted to say all of that because I have this microphone and we're in charge.
I think well said, first of all, and I think I think that's the reason that podcasting is my favorite thing, like my
thing to do but not listen to.
Well, yeah. I mean, no. Listen, shut up.
Okay.
I just think that it is a medium that allows for things to be a conversation more than many of the other mediums that we frequent. I think that when I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but when I do, I usually don't feel like someone is giving their absolute final statement on a thing. It feels like I'm kind of listening into a conversation that is ongoing, and that's why I like it here better than most other places, because a lot of other places, I think it's very easy to be like, and that's what that person thinks, in like very black and white terms. Whereas spaces like these, I think, we're thinking in real time. We're not scripted. We have some notes, we have some thoughts, but then like once we hit record, it's sort of, whatever happens. And I think that Jenny, you and I are both fairly good at thinking out loud, but I don't think anybody's perfect at it. So yeah. Anyway, I agree with all of your thoughts. I do think that the Cordelia and Indira of it all is one of my favorite parts. In this episode, there is a moment where Giles talks about this Anya having the same heart as his Anya. That's the shit that I'm here for too. And I love that there's some of the fun stuff that is like fucking yes. Love it. It's such a good time. Ghost Jonathan maybe top among them at this point in the journey. But yeah, I agree with you, and I am excited to hear more in those storylines and get more into those bits because of everything you said. I don't have to say it again.
Well. Look at us.
Well. So, Jenny, last week we opined that perhaps Spike didn't have a previously on monologue at the top because we were in an alternate dimension. But actually, that's not at all the reason, because we're in an alternate dimension still. And this is the
his voiceovers, or his previously ons, have all been in the alternate dimension from inside a sarcophagus.
Yeah, so
and now that he's out of the sarcophagus, will there now be no more previously? But what was the significance of there being no previously last time?
Last time, exactly. I wonder. I haven't thought it through, but it is fun that he's just been in there fucking talking through everything that's happened for the last 6 episodes of Slayers of Buffyverse story from inside of the sarcophagus of alternate reality Spike.
Listen, sometimes about a month ago, I was driving somewhere with Frank. We were in the car for about 20 minutes, and I spent that entire 20 minutes explaining to Frank the intricacies of my current financial situation. I was talking to him about, like, retirement savings and stock portfolios and
lack thereof,
student debt and high interest, hard quotes, savings accounts. And, it helped me to say all of that stuff out loud to Frank. I felt like I had like clarity afterwards, even though obviously Frank has absolutely nothing to contribute.
It's true. Journaling via Frank, and Spike is sort of journaling via sarcophagus.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Spike Cordy stuff that happens in here, but first I just have a question for you. Where there's a moment when Spike is doing his voiceover. It's after he gets through his previously ons in completion, but it's right after it, and he says, "I did find a gorgeous leather duster. This world's Spike turned to ashes, so I guess they buried his coat in his place. Fits like it was tailor-made for me." The line is so confusing to me because it sounds like our Spike doesn't have his leather duster or didn't. You know what I mean? Like it just was odd that it wasn't like, oh, and this Spike also had a leather duster. What are the odds? Or like, I don't know how that hit you, but I just was confused by it a bit.
I don't know. That didn't catch my ear so much. Like, it felt like a little like, but I wasn't thinking like, oh, he doesn't have a duster. I just like thought it was just like a little bit like oddly
placed,
said or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to. So LaToya gives us notes every episode that we do, because she rules and her input
She's
is
wise,
fucking perfect. And she said, how do y'all feel about Spike being into this version of Cordy? My thoughts, LaToya's thoughts, is nothing sacred. I'm not a Spike Buffy shipper, but it feels like it then makes it more like Spike was only into Buffy because she was a Slayer, not because she was Buffy. And I find this interesting. Well, I guess it just made me ask some questions to myself about Spike in general, because I do think that Spike is kind of into like any powerful woman, like just as a baseline.
Fair.
And I do think that with Buffy, there was something different. But I do think that like he was probably into Cordelia in his universe. Like we didn't ever explore that, but like we explored it as a podcast, I'm sure, but we didn't get to explore it in the show universe. But I think it makes sense. I don't know that I need them to spend the time on it that they're spending unless they are deciding to give us Spordelia at some point.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, obviously we all know Cordelia is hot. And clearly Spike is a sexual being.
Perhaps one of the most sexual beings.
Yeah. And he has a history of being into strong women for sure. But I think LaToya asks a fair question. Is nothing sacred?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also,
you know, I was gonna say, you know, who wouldn't hit on Cordelia? Angel, and then I was like, wait.
Now, see, I think that I take Morgan's do-do-dos and put them over in the Cordy Angel bin because that's a relationship that I fucking love. And Court Angel, and that's for another podcast.
Angelia. I'm sure we've had this exact exchange before. But it's still satisfying.
Angelina Jolie. Is it their ship name Angelina Jolie?
Yes.
Somehow. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely think that Spike would have a crush on Cordelia. Or not a crush, but like Spike would want to make out with Cordelia. Clearly. I just don't know that I am like needing to necessarily hear him ruminate on it at this stage. I would maybe I'm mad because my ability to ship the thing that's not in the text is now in the text. And I'm like, well, now what am I going to talk about? You know? Anyway.
I love the image of ghouls digging themselves out of their graves. I guess when you think about it, it's like probably similar to like what Buffy does at the beginning of season 6. But in my mind, I was somehow picturing their arms being above the dirt and then digging downwards. Doesn't make a lot of sense, physically.
We don't know what a ghoul looks like. Maybe they have extendo arms,
They could have extendo arms. We definitely know that they are gossipy bitches, but are they smug?
It's a good question. It's hard. I just realized that for me, smug might be more of a visual clocking than anything else.
More of
a... can't see the ghoul.
You have to be an 8-year-old girl.
If you're an 8-year-old ghoul, smug bitch.
We also, it bears mentioning that we fleetingly hear that Cordelia had a meeting earlier. Chekhov's Cordelia's meeting.
We go to the cemetery. We hear Cordy and Indira chatting about the ghouls. We learn that Night of the Living Dead never made it to this universe, which is interesting. And we, of course, learn that Indira's bright idea at the end of the 5th episode is they are doing it. There are fake occult symbols. You really, in this universe, I'm sorry, but you don't want to fuck around with fake occult symbols on the ground. Do you remember what happened in Fear itself? Like,
why take the chance?
All fun and games until somebody cuts their hand and a drop of blood falls on the fake occult symbol. And then, but they're going to, we started the episode with Indira's incantation to resurrect William Pratt, Spike, from his death. And we started with the clip, because it's one of the cornerstones of the episode, of course, that like Spike is now pretending that he's alternate reality Spike resurrected, but B, because Leia is, in my opinion, the MVP of this fucking cast. I mean, she is... I just don't understand it even. I don't understand how so much emotion can be conveyed, and not so much emotion, but so many emotions, so many different things can be conveyed in an audio medium, and she does it with a skill that I think is unmatched. This monologue is hilarious, and she, says, "Rise and kill the witch who falsely claims my title and throne," as the universe seems to conspire with her, thunder cracking, rain falling.
Yeah, what do you think that's about? That can't be good.
It works really well for their play.
Yeah. I think James is turning it in here as well. I am resurrected.
I am resurrected to make sure that all the ghouls hear exactly what is happening.
It's good. It's very Spike.
Yeah. Very, very good. And the ghouls do what they were meant to do. They gossip. Ghoul-sip.
Oh, boy.
I know. It wasn't there, but, like I said at the top of the podcast, this is a place for workshopping and for conversation.
Yep. And, in the first episode, we talked about some accents that were deployed to, I think, make the bar feel big and to make it feel like very like to help us identify this is a different demon than that demon and that demon and that demon. The ghouls have a bouquet of accents that really just really got to me. Like they really found a place in my heart. I love these ghouls, but I'm also like, where did they live all of their lives that
that they have these accents?
I'm picturing them having been buried in Sunnydale, and I'm just curious.
Sunnydale, a lot of international, travel headed
There's definitely some
Sunnydale.
international. Then there's just some sort of like Muppety kind of guys that I also love. I'm feeling it. I know last episode I was skeptical of ghouls being brought into things, but I love how they're used in this episode.
I recently watched an episode or two of the cartoon Gummy Bears. Bouncing
A here, B there, C everywhere, D all of the above.
All of the above. And there are like these little ogre troll guys in that show, and that is, even though they are decidedly not ghouls, the voice work done by the ghouls really brings that visual to my mind. I also really enjoy the ghouls and all of their nonsense. We go back to the zoo. The last time we were here, Anyanka was fleeing through the bars, leaving Giles and Clem behind. Clem specifically in the lion's den. And we learned that Clem ate the lion.
Sometimes you gotta. He's so embarrassed. And he feels just sick about it.
Yeah, he's upset because he's been, he's trying to not eat kittens, and he has been clean for 3 years, and he feels that this is taken away that clean record. Giles is very nice and assures him that it was self-defense. This does not count. Clem is sort of like spends the rest of the episode trying to digest a lion unsuccessfully,
Yeah, oh, poor guy. Giles really does sound like Grandpa Giles lately. He's just like very like, oh, where am I? He sounds like he should be running a bookshop in England
with Olivia
and drinking tea.
How many donuts do you
here.
think Olivia has eaten by now?
Oh my God! Don't even make me think about it. I want the donuts.
This scene between Clem and Giles ends in the place that I mentioned at the top, where Clem is basically like, hey, Giles, you remember that this is not like your Anya, right? And he says, I believe she has the same good heart. And then he says, sorry, got me when I looked back down at my scripts. I let her down in my world. I'm not going to allow anything to happen to her a second time. Obviously, the justice for Cordelia arc is embedded deeply in this show. And there's something very powerful about hearing Giles talk about how he feels remorse and guilt about what happened to Anya inside of the universe. Because obviously most of us, for reasons some similar and most very different from Charisma and Cordelia, were really devastated by the way that Anya's death was treated in Buffy. And it's really powerful to hear, not Tony Head talk about how, he wished that Emma Caulfield's death was treated differently, but to hear Giles talk about Anya's death in this, universe that is ours. So I like it. It made me emotional.
Yeah. I have nothing further to add, Your Honor.
Shall we go to the magic box?
Yeah. What? Okay. Something that is funny to me. Something I don't quite understand, and maybe I'm forgetting something, and maybe you'll remember and will educate me. Okay, so Tara's all, I'm here for a book, and Anya's like, over my dead body. And then Anya says the real Tara would never resort to physical violence. Why would, if you're talking to Dark Tara, why would she care?
Yeah,
This reminds me of when I was in 7th grade and then someone rudely
I like when
pushed
Jenny
past
poses
me.
something as a question, but it's actually just a segue to a story that she wants to tell.
No. This is the question truly came first, and it just, as I was saying, it kind of reminded me of when I was like a 7th grade little dork, and like a bigger kid pushed me in the hallway, and I was like, real polite, like what? As though that would have any impact, you know?
Tiny Jenny screaming that or shouting that in the hallway is so endearing and wonderful.
Yeah, right before I like banged an illegal U-turn.
Can I tell you one story? You just reminded me of people in middle school and high school that we know now. And I just learned a story about my current wife, Avanti, from high school that's really funny. It's not even about anything she did. She was voted class clown, like in high school. Like that was like the superlative that she got. She was like very quiet, and then in 10th grade, she like opened her mouth, and people thought it was funny, and then she just was funny all the time. Anyway, that's not the point. She got voted class clown, but Jenny in her class was an actual clown, a girl that was like a clown whose parents were both clowns. They were in a troupe of clowns, and she was so mad that Avanti got class clown because she was literally a clown.
She was studied in the clowning arts.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. You just picturing you in 7th grade reminded me that Avanti also once was in 7th grade and then in high school, and then I thought of that clown story. I'm so sorry.
One thing leads to another. Yeah, absolutely. But the core question at the heart of this moment in our podcast is, sometimes people say things to ostensibly Dark Terra that Dark Terra they have no reason to expect Dark Terra to give a shit about whether real Terra would resort to physical violence.
I think that Anya knows or guesses, but I think she knows that it's not all Dark Terra at this point. Especially, I mean, later we hear, I think, right, Anya talking to, when Terra is talking about Kurgan or talking as Kurgan, and she's like, Kurgan is not controlling me. This is like all me. And Anya's like, no, I know this, and Kurgan is controlling you. So I think that Anya believes that there's a place to reach the Terra that she knows.
Yeah.
I think
I'm trying to remember. This is a symptom of not knowing this series like the back of my hand. I'm trying to remember if there have been scenes when they've been together where Terra, like the Terra Duckin, has delayered itself, and true Terra has been like, brah, I'm in here.
Even if we haven't seen it or heard it, I should say, I would think that we could extrapolate that it has happened, because we know that the only reason that Terra is not killing Anya is because there's still a part of good Terra there.
Right. And then also, inexplicably, in a similar way, ostensibly Dark Terra is like, hey, whoa. It's because of me that you're not in a dungeon having the magic leached out of you. So you should say thank you, and I will once again not kill you. I will once again let you live.
Yeah. Okay. So I know we're positive. There's a lot of positive, but this scene has a moment that really like rubbed me the wrong way, and is like, I think some of the things I'm struggling with the most is like represented by this, which is that Terra goes into the magic shop to find this book from Giles, right? As a listener, I think all I really need to know is that Terra found the book. I don't know that I would need to know why, but she has this line, I only remembered it where the book was because I did an inventory last year to see what could be sold to raise money to keep the lights on here. I don't understand why. Like, that's a moment, that's a beat where I'm like, I think I'm good with just like, did you find the book or did you not find the book? I don't think I need to know why. Or like, because it feels like it's there to make sure we know there is a reason why Terra knows it's there. And I don't think as a listener I need to know. We know Anya and Terra owned the magic box together. We know, you know what I mean? So like, I could extrapolate that and like fill in the blanks, I think.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think it's a tricky thing to walk the line of building a world or extending a world in a way, where where all the pieces are, and then deciding which pieces, are most necessary, must be communicated or shown to the audience, and which pieces can just sort of be self-evident.
Totally.
Or transparent.
Also, I just think I answered one of our questions about if Anya has heard any other versions of Tara, because there is a moment after Kurgan takes over and then good Tara says something. Anya actually says, "You're not alone in there, are you? It's not just a curse, it's a possession." So that line is there, and I think it is the first time that Anya has confirmation of this.
Okay, so are we to understand that Dark Tara is Kurgan, but then sometimes Kurgan is just extra Kurgan?
Yeah, Kurgan squared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Extreme
sort of like
Kurgan.
Kurgan has an influence over Tara, but then also can just now at this point just actually speak
Pop
as
goes the weasel.
himself. Yeah. Okay, well, don't worry, because Jasper's here. We can hear him. He's yipping in the distance. Certainly, we're excited because here comes That's Anyanka. That's Anyanka's body, and Jasper's inside of it.
Okay, Jasper is inside of Anyanka's body, and Anyanka is inside of Jasper's body. We are, I believe the script sometimes at least refers to, we've got Pupyanka, body of a puppy, voice of Anyanka.
Yes.
And then we've got barking Anyanka, body of Anyanka, voice of Jasper.
Yeah. This is a place where I'm so sad we don't have the visual, honestly, because show me Anyanka, but as Jasper. You know what I mean? I want to see it. The lines work for me here. No licking. That's just gross. Thinking about Anyanka licking Anya.
Yeah. Freaky fry dog.
Freaky fry dog. Very, very good.
Kristen, let me ask you this. Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh, God.
Pupyanka. Barking Anyanka, and a double of your own body with Frank's voice.
What the fuck, Jenny? Pupyanka. Okay. Well, okay,
No,
I'm not.
Don't answer this.
I'm not going to fuck myself. At least that's none of your business. And I'm definitely going to then have to sleep with Pupyanka, because Pupyanka is at least in the body of a human.
No, Pupyanka is a dog with
shit,
the voice of a demon.
I meant barking Anyanka.
We need a new version of this game that's appropriate for animal.
Yeah. Because barking,
contestants.
Jenny, barking Anyanka cannot consent to me, but also
oh my God,
Pupyanka can, but I don't think that's appropriate.
Adopt, kennel, euthanize.
Oh my God. No, I'm walking out the room. That's it. We're
Honestly,
done.
Me too. I don't know how I got in here, but I've been possessed by Kurgan. But now I'm liberated again from his evil influence, and I won't be asking any more questions like the ones that preceded.
Oh my God. At least I got the chance to say inside of podcast, I don't want to fuck myself. So happy I had that opportunity. Can't wait till we get to the sexual tension awards. Okay. Over to Drusilla's. Okay, so I opined to Jenny before we started recording that Drusilla and banged. Drusilla, if you will.
Do you think that Drew named her Ms. Bang after their encounter? Like she had a different name before.
Yes, I do. But yeah, I think that these two have banged because, okay, two things, actually. Drusilla has a line. Drusilla has lines that are so Drusilla. And I like the writing is great in this, but also like there's just a part of me that's like, does Juliet Landau just like sit down and be like, but also, you know what I mean? Like, does she have any input in any of these lines? But she says, mine is a dead black heart, but it always feels alive when it's breaking. That's beautiful.
Sounds like a line straight out of a William the Bloody poem.
Drusilla, you fill my heart with dread, and still I'm led right back to you.
All right, so Drew sired Bang. It was the best night of Bang's life. I think that they fucked, banged, whatever. And then they have this conversation about Tara. Does Tara actually love Drusilla? And Bang says, I think that she loves you as best as she can.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Drusilla left Bang in an iron box at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean for 43 years. Do you think that her box was next to
She
Angel's?
was near Angel, yeah.
Like, if only they gave them a couple little side windows, they could have, like, at least waved to each other in their little boxes at the bottom of the Pacific. How many vampires do you think are chained in a box at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean right now?
I think a lot of them. And what maybe an even more important question that you're not asking is what, like, when you picture Drusilla on a boat with, I mean, her minions are, like, doing the sailing, no doubt. But what's Drusilla wearing? Is she standing at the big wooden steering wheel? Does she have a little captain's hat? Does she have a little like naval ensemble? What does she have going on?
I want to play this game with you, except for in my heart of hearts, I believe that Drusilla has never been on a boat in her fucking life. I just can't see it.
She was just like, take care of it, minions.
Yeah, take the boat and go. I just only picture her below ground. So I guess if at most she's in full Drusilla wear underneath the boat, like she's below deck. Perhaps she's put one of her dollies up above deck and it has a little captain's hat on.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, what about like real, like, our flag means death era pirate garb?
Yeah, I just, like, I could see her wearing it, just not on
tailcoat,
not on a boat.
And like a tri-corner hat and an eye patch.
No.
And no,
I just can't do it. I don't mean to shut you down. I really should be yes-anding you right now. I know it, but I cannot bring myself to imagine Drusilla on a boat. It doesn't work for me.
All right, moving on.
Or email us at hello@BufferingCast to please let us know if you think Drusilla has been on a boat, and if so, what she was wearing, you know?
Oh yeah, do let us know.
I'm not your only friend. I might be your best friend, but I'm not your only friend.
Well, I would say that I'm your best friend and that you're my good friend. If pressed. A lot of talk of kneeling when Tara arrives, and how everyone feels about kneeling and positions and things. And this, once again, just seems like absolutely none of my business.
Yeah, it's none of our business, but in case it's some of yours, here's a clip from Drusilla.
Maybe you should kneel after all. Not because of the queen bit. I just like you down there.
You know who else's business? It's none of the minions. They're seeing themselves out.
I love that. This is like, I feel like when I watched Game of Thrones was like a time at least I remember being like, wow, in Game of Thrones, the guards just have to like stand outside the door while people are fucking, like making sure that they're okay while people are fucking. Like, what a job.
Yeah.
Also, Drusilla finds out nobody kneels, by the way. There's a lot of sexy talk and then a fight, you know, queer culture. Talking about sex, talking about having sex, but then somebody fucking says something wrong and then nobody's having sex. Instead, we're arguing. You didn't you went to see Anya. She went to see Anya. I really wish they ramped up the jealousy. I mean, because it's here. Drusilla is jealous. So I also wish that they had not talked about what exactly the relationship between Anya and Tara was, that they were just friends. Because
they were just friends?
I don't know if you heard, Jenny, but they were just friends.
It wasn't like that.
It's fun to think about. I mean, this is I'm sorry, but like two ladies having sex and one of them goes to see this person that she was really close with, and they just leave it up to our imaginations. You know, even if we're wrong, we want to, it's jealousy. Because even if they were just friends, this jealousy could exist. But I just want it to be a little ambiguous. Not so much to ask.
Incredible timing by Minion Z arriving now to say that a new witch queen is in town and she has resurrected Spike. And do you know what Drusilla says? She says, "My lovely man."
Twice she calls Spike her lovely man.
Her lovely man?
Oh, it's good. What do you think about this, Jenny?
Well, I can't imagine Drusilla saying "my lovely man" before now.
And
however, after being entangled in what seems like an extremely dramatic roller coaster relationship with a woman, and also being mid-fight with said woman, I could see Drusilla being like, "My lovely man, he's a simple creature. There's far less, sort of lurking below the surface. He feels more sort of accessible. Fewer question marks, more exclamation points. My lovely man."
As a podcast network, our focus is bringing you shows you love to listen to. But we also sell merch related to those shows. And partnering with Shopify has made that both possible and simple for us to do. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor adventures, Shopify helps you sell everywhere because they've got you covered, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. What's so fantastic about Shopify is how, no matter how big you want to grow, they provide everything you need to get control of your business so you can take it to the next level. Businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/realm.
Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. Did you know that your body starts accumulating senescent cells as early as your 20s? Also called zombie cells. These cells stop producing collagen and hyaluronic acid like they used to, and start secreting an inflammatory substance that makes neighboring cells dysfunctional too. There is an answer for these zombie cells, though, and it comes from our friends at OneSkin. OneSkin was founded by an all-woman team of scientists and is the first and only skin longevity company to target cellular senescence, a key hallmark of aging, with their proprietary OS1 peptide. It's scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. And for a limited time, you can try OneSkin and get 15% off using our code BUFFERING when you check out at oneskin.co. I've been using OneSkin's OS1 face and eye topicals for months now, and I have seen undeniable results. My skin feels healthier and brighter. I'm a big fan of their products, and I'm happy to recommend them. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you.
Tara's pissed that there's somebody calling herself the Witch Queen.
Oh, no, she shall not tolerate that.
Drusilla tries just one little try at like, well, the three of us, though. And Tara's like, literally, go fuck yourself. No, thank you. I did not sign up for a threesome. Listen, Tara didn't. Drusilla did, clearly. Drusilla's been having threesomes for her whole life. A threesome is not even a lot of people for Drusilla.
Yeah.
And Drusilla says that if she goes to see this resurrected Spike, she'll see the ghosts and then she'll know. I fucking love Drusilla's lines in this. I love them.
Yeah. What did you think about when I think that Drew says something about Tara being in her way and Tara says, I am your way. Did that ring a bell for you at all?
It did ring a bell for me, Jenny, but why don't you tell those whose bells did not ring what they should be hearing?
Hard to imagine an unrung bell in our listenership, but of course in season 7, Kennedy says during a romantic moment with Willow, now you're my way.
You know,
do we feel like this is deliberate?
Yes,
in any way?
I do think it's deliberate, and I
tonally very different.
Yes, tonally very different. I think it's a play. I think it's an Easter egg, so like here for that, I guess, but I don't need it. I want this to be its own love. I don't need it.
Sure. You know what I need?
What do you need?
Know if it's really my lovely man.
All right, Kurgan wants to kill Drusilla in Tara's body. LaToya also noted, since you've done an impression of Kurgan so many times, LaToya noted that Kurgan's voice sounds like Kakistos. Does anyone else agree? I just keep imagining Tara's possessed by cloven old Kakistos. Kissing toast. Never forget.
I will never forget kissing toast.
Okay,
dream of it.
So Drew leaves to go find Spike and see if this is for real or not. And Tara stays behind, and Mr. Pickles is there. And they have a long chat, which is, of course, there to give us more information. Tara thinks that Drusilla won't mind when she finds out all of the truths about this Kurgan thing once she can just live a simple life in the sun. That will sort of distract her from all of the other things, like, say, that Kurgan wants to be the god of vampires.
This seems like something Drusilla would be interested in knowing.
Yeah, love means a lot to Drusilla, but I think that learning that there's a god of vampires on the scene is going to definitely take precedence.
Also, Mr. Pickles thinks Kurgan orchestrated Tara's romance with Drusilla. How about that?
But, like, how? Weren't Drusilla and Tara already together before she touched the grimoire?
No. Drusilla, Drusilla and Spike, I think, tricked Tara into casting from the grimoire by spreading a rumor that the sunlight spell, I think, would actually have the opposite effect.
Right. And then it was only after that they had their, that they fell in love.
Tara went dark. Spike died. Smoochy smooch.
We also get information that Kurgan was a watcher. We didn't know
Romanian.
That. Yeah, we didn't know any of this before, right?
This feels new and important.
I love that he was a watcher.
Yeah.
That's very cool to the story for me.
Great touch. Which means he has Watcher's diaries that they reference later.
Right. And I like, obviously any villain with a good backstory is a much richer villain. So I just think it's very fun to think about Kurgan as this 19-year, right? He was really young. He was 19 years old and studying vampires and how their bodies responded to sunlight. And it just is a very cool, right now we're getting this Kurgan possession storyline where it's this demony voice and what have you, but I think it would be fun to get like the Watcher's Diaries of Kurgan, little side episodes, you know, just hear what Kurgan was doing and what he was like before all of this. Anyway, Bang interrupts Tara and the monkey to say that she actually thinks that Drusilla might get distracted by this new witch. And so if Tara can do the spell, this is her moment. And Bang is going to be the tribute.
Yeah. Bang is like, I want a life in the sun. Bang also thinks there's like a value to being the first vampire who's able to walk in the sunlight. She's like, let's go do it in the dungeon away from prying eyes with plenty of access to drainable, which is what could go wrong. Cut to the cemetery. The whimsical harpsichord and theremin music cue is back, and I was like, Jonathan's back. But it's not reserved just for Jonathan. It's just a whimsical cemetery cue, and I love it still.
Yes, I do too. Also, never trust a minion when they ask you to do something down in the dungeon. Come on. Never trust anyone, actually, when they ask you to do it down in the dungeon unless you have a safe word.
Yeah, I mean, Bang has some credibility, though, so I can see why this happened.
She does, but Tara, I feel, is on shaky ground, and Tara knows she's on shaky ground, and I feel like the wise move here would be to say, bring Althania up here. You know? Don't bring me down there. Just bring Althania up here. But she doesn't do that. Spike getting in the cemetery. Spike getting this metal line that keeps himself busy. And one of the ways he does is by audiobooks. He's gotten really into audiobooks over the past few. I thought it was a very fun little audio.
I was like waiting for him to be like Audible Originals.
Yeah.
There's a really cool one about a post-apocalyptic world overrun with vampires called Impact Winter. Have you heard it? That's what I was hoping for. It didn't happen, but
Spike and Indira are killing time waiting for this rumor to get back and for it to manifest Drusilla, which it does. The Drusilla and the minions. This is cool. Spike and Drusilla, alternate universe Drusilla meeting our universe's Spike is very cool to me. How do you feel about this, Jenny?
This felt really exciting. This felt like what the show has been building toward. Like, this feels like push, you know? I mean, I wasn't sitting in between Juliet Landau and James Marsters at Comic-Con like some people on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But
I wish I was sitting. I was fucking standing. That was what made it so difficult.
Oh my God.
They were sitting. I was standing. And my podium could not support my weight.
Yeah, it's the electricity crackles the moment these two are together again.
And it's cool because, I mean, you know, I guess we don't know how love works across realities. At least I don't. But it does seem like if anyone was going to have a love that lasted, that was the same across realities, it could be these two.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm like, uh-oh. Spike,
yeah,
you with us, buddy? You with us?
Same. Let's listen to it. Let's give you all a little treat for your ears and hear this moment that Drusilla and Spike first meet.
I mostly feel like I'm dreaming every time I open my eyes. But this, it's dreaming inside a dream, isn't it?
If that's your way of saying hello, love, then cheers. You look as lovely as the last time I laid eyes on you.
It really is you.
They are gonna do it. And we all need to get out of the way. They're talking about their scents, and everyone's breathing real heavy and just all kinds of things that are none of our business. Drusilla is hungry looking at him.
Honestly, I think the difference between Drusilla and Tara and Drusilla and Spike is that Drusilla and Spike wouldn't tell the minions to leave.
That is so true.
Indira is just like having a blast as the witch queen. Like she's just like saying a bunch of shit, like making fun of the minion for not having a trumpet, like just having a blast, and I'm here for it. Spike is like, pipe down, Queen of Magic. We haven't yet established like the next steps of this plan. And then he, without any warning, without having previously discussed it with Indira at all, decides that his plan is to actually show Drusilla where the Gem of Amara is, because he, in his brain, is like, oh, that's perfect. And then, then if Drusilla knows that we know where that is, then you can tell her that's the secret ingredient. But he hasn't said any of this to Indira, and he's been in the fucking tomb with Indira the whole time.
Yeah, he's just been so busy muttering to himself that he couldn't share any of this.
Indira does a pretty good job of keeping up, and Leia does an absolutely stupendous job at giving us Indira trying desperately to keep up, like being unsure, but like being like, yeah, no, totally, the Gem of Amara, absolutely, that is absolutely what I would like to find in that tomb that you just pointed to.
It is a gem, and no, actually a ring, of course, like you said, which is what I meant.
Indira in this universe is me in this podcast trying to keep up with my notes. All right.
Okay, so Spike and Indira do their little tap dance and indicate that the Gem of Amara is right here in the cemetery, in a crypt, just where it was in the other universe when Spike got it out for himself. Totally.
Fucking trying to kill Harmony in the process. May she rest in peace in this universe.
And then Spike is like, okay, all we have to do is convince Drusilla that you can extend the ring's power to every vampire on Earth. And Indira's like, yeah, that's all we have to do. Cool.
Pretty incredible that the Gem of Amara, I believe it, like that the Gem of Amara is just in the same tomb in all universes.
I mean, many things are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Ish.
I really like that Drusilla has started calling Indira kitty cat. Just after one meow exchange that was hilarious, she says, come along, kitty cat. We're going to be very, very good friends.
Drusilla says meow to you. What do you say back?
You literally meow, Jenny.
Yeah. What else? What else?
The only thing to say is meow.
Yeah.
So this, we cut to the dungeon, and we talked to Casey about, a lot of sound effects in the show. And if you recall, he said his wife did a lot of very intense screaming for the audio, and that his son was like, whoa, Mom. I'm pretty sure this is the screaming. And this is where Tara and Bang do the spell successfully.
Okay, so we find out here, when you have volunteered to be the subject of an experimental spell that is totally unproven and could kill you, and then you and the caster decide to just have kind of like a brief little history chat of like how we got here. So listen, it will surprise you not at all to learn that Kurgan got addicted to black magic, because as we all know, magic is drugs, magic is sex, magic is rock and roll. It's all things to all people. He became obsessed with godhood.
As you do.
And, okay. Kurgan had this problem. He was like, okay, I want to be the god of vampires, but vampires are kind of viewed as night scavengers. How do I elevate them? They need to be able to walk in the day. Why walking in the daylight is revered? Unknown. Seems like being a creature of the night is much cooler than being a creature of the mid-afternoon.
That's what a creature of the mid-afternoon would think. You always want what's on the other side, Jenny.
Maybe, yeah. The grass is always...
The crypt is always...
Yeah.
The crypt is always greener, like they say.
There we go. So back when Kurgan was a watcher, he did a lot of vampire studying, as we mentioned earlier, and he studied what Tara refers to as the vampire's biological clock, which feels like a funny way to talk about this, because what she's actually referencing is the body's awareness that the sun is up.
Right, which doesn't feel like a biological clock, but is that because Mona Lisa Vito stamped her foot so many times on the porch of that cabin and said her biological clock was ticking?
Well, and I mean, who among us can say where exactly the concept of the biological clock and its proverbial ticking came into our sort of cultural consciousness? Mm-hmm. But yeah, maybe.
Because it does feel like a biological clock has something to do with like the timeline in which you might be able to become pregnant and bear a child more than any other kind of clock. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It feels more like what we're talking about here is sort of a like a light meter clock, you know?
Yeah, like your sleep, like whatever your sleep cycle,
your circadian rhythm.
Your circadian rhythm, yeah. Like I don't know, maybe we're just short-sighted on what is encompassed inside of a biological clock, but you can let us
Totally.
know.
Well, what about a biological compass?
Oh, I would have loved if she called it a biological compass.
Okay, but basically what's at the core of this, what we're talking about is of the idea that the vampire's inability to walk in the sun is due directly because of the vampire's body's awareness of the sunrise. That awareness changes your flesh and weakens it, allowing the sun to cause the demon inside you to burn. This all feels very complicated.
It does.
But the spell turns vampire skin into a shield.
Yes.
Okay. Tara does the spell. Kurgan is all
okay, except for he literally, when Kurgan comes out, he says one thing, and it's "so mote it be," and I'm like, okay, drama. Let's dial down the drama. So mote it be. It reminded me. I think I'd already said in another episode that I'm rewatching Succession, but we recently watched the episode where Greg is like on trial, and he's like, and so saith, so shall it be, and so it is. You know, like he's like just like saying all these really big words.
Oh, Freemasons end their prayers with the phrase "so mote it be."
Oh, okay, then that's fun. I mean, it's fun, honestly, either way, but I'll make less fun of Kurgan for it. So it works, or at least it very much seems like it works. You know, Bang is in a lot of pain, but then her skin is super tingly, and she's not setting on fire like the other minions were. And it seems like Tara did it. But plot twist, Bang's like,
here comes the double cross.
Oh, Bang's like, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
And she's like, ever heard of Cordelia? Yeah? Who I made a deal? What?
Wow. She made a
Kristin,
Cordelia.
I haven't slept right in 11 months.
Listen, I have, and I'm still I'm up in the sky. Tara,
I just want to say Julia Cho, who is the voice of Ms. Bang, is ripping it up.
I said this in the car when I was listening to this episode. I was like, listen, I don't know. I'm glad you know it's Julia Cho, because I did not know in the car. And I was like, whoever this is, I love her performance. And I just love her voice. She has a very enjoyable voice to listen to.
She also, I had to look her up because she reminds me of somebody who's all over The Simpsons and Futurama.
Oh, interesting.
Disenchantment?
Is that her?
No, I don't think so.
She reminded me of someone inside of Mike Flanagan's shows, and I couldn't like put my finger on it. But like every time she talked, I was like, this is like, I feel like I'm watching The Fall of the House of Usher, and I don't know why. Anyway, Cordelia has made a Delia with Bang. And Bang just like busts on out of there. I fucking honestly love Bang. She's there. She does what she needs to do. She gets it done. And she's like, peace. I can fucking walk in the sunlight. Bye. And Cordelia is there in the dungeon. And she's like, hey, I got what I needed, which was access to you. And Bang's like, I got what I needed, which is getting out of Sunnydale. What is going to happen in the dungeon between Tara and Cordelia? I wish I could say it was going to be sexy. I do not believe it will be. You know what is sexy is that all Anya and Anyanka can ever talk about is the song by the Spice Girls, When Two Become One. You know, it's their favorite jam. They love it. When you crossed into my reality, I felt drawn, dragged by gravity toward you, as if we were two halves of one whole and the universe was trying to mend us. Rejoin us. Gay.
Yes, this is queer culture.
This is fucking gay.
Yeah, I mean, there's simply no other way to describe it, Kristin.
There isn't. And basically, Anya tells, what do we call her now? Barking Anyanka, that if she doesn't kill her, that Anya will try to use magic.
Yanka. She tells Yanka.
I can't. Barking on. Oh, right. Because barking Anyanka is Jasper in Anyanka's body. Okay. Yanka. Anya tells Yanka that if she doesn't kill her, if she promises not to kill her, she will do this magic spell that will hopefully reverse bodies and souls, giving us once again Jasper and Anyanka in their proper bodies.
The spell calls for Polgara demon blood. What do you think about that?
What's a Polgara demon again?
Well, it's a swamp monster, spike-armed demon that Maggie Walsh once sicked upon.
Oh,
Buffy Summers, thinking it would be an easy kill.
Wow. Do you think Maggie is a smug bitch monster of death?
Without question.
Great. Anya, I feel like at this point, perhaps, Anya, you should stop doing magic. Every time you've done magic, things have gone horribly wrong. But she does a spell, and she says, oh gods, I think I've done this all wrong. And then all we know is that there's a huge explosion that is so loud that from the, like, I guess they're not in the zoo anymore, but they're not at the magic box. Clem and Giles.
On their way to the magic box. I think they can see it in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big tremor and big kaboom.
What do you think happens, Jenny?
I'm hoping that Anya, Yanka, and Barking Anyanka will all be fused into one being.
Uh-huh. Do you think Spike is going to fall in love with Drusilla and sort of like ruin the plan, so to speak?
I'm mildly concerned about it.
This was a point in my listen. So we listened to the first episode and I think talked about it before I listened to the rest. I can't remember actually. Regardless, there was a moment in the first episode where there were lines about Spike where I was like, ooh, is this series going to give us this like switch again where, you know, we started the series Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Spike was clearly evil, but then he got a chip in his head. Was he evil? But then he wanted to get his soul and he got his soul, so he wasn't evil at all. Is it going to like take us on a similar journey where we're like, clearly Spike's not evil and make us doubt that again, the nature of Spike? And so when I got to this episode and this was happening, I was like, well, shit, maybe I was right.
But as I posited earlier, Spike equals exclamation point, not question mark.
Jenny, what's your favorite sound cue?
You know, my favorite audio situation is this Kurgan stuff. It's freaking me out, and it's got notes of Dead by Sunrise.
It's really cool. It's definitely like 3 or more voices, right? Like there's layered vocals happening.
Stuff going on.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Casey about like plugins and stuff. I don't know if people working in audio fiction are using the same plugins that people who are working in like music production are using, but you've sat through me messing around with a lot of plugins, and I do wonder if there's some sort of like octave down doubling thing going on, and like
right.
There's stuff that could be going on that might not even require another vocal. You know, like you can manipulate a single vocal without having to
record it
and like make it feel like more than one. This is boring. I'm so sorry. I'm saying all of it. How are you?
Bored. I'm great.
Okay.
I think that I feel like I always go Clem. It's just like Clem's sneeze was very fun. Clem's hairball, it really got me in this one. I know it's gross, but like we're here for efficacy, and it was effective.
Yeah. I just want him to be okay.
Yeah, he just needs to sit still for a little while, I think.
Yeah. That would be good.
Well, Jenny, I don't know how you're going to get us from sitting still to Sexy Town, but good luck.
Well, from sitting still to Sexy Town, let's squeeze our glutes, tighten our quads, and use the strength of our legs to stand up and walk to Sexy Town.
It's such a roller coaster.
Which is where the sexual tension awards are. Yay!
Sexual attention award.
Here I am, squeezing my glutes, ready for some noms and slots. Jenny, what do you got?
Well, Kristen, I'm so glad you asked. Here's what we have to squeeze into today's slots.
This is it. It's over.
Am I fired?
We're both fired, actually. If you would like to send your resume to hello@bufferingcast.com, management will be.
We are burning it all to the ground and hiring an entirely new staff. In slot number 1, it's just excellent. It just feels right. Time, space, the grave, none of it matters. These two belong near each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's Spike and Drew.
And Jenny, I don't know if you even remember this, but you actually made a jingle for Drew and Spike as a pair.
I don't remember.
Let's play it. Let's remind you. Hit it, bitch from the past.
They got a dark and creepy, ghoulish, freaky kind of love. They got a ropes and handcuffs, tortured, bloodlust kind of love. They do, Spike and Drusilla.
Okay, in slot number 2, which traditionally is a slot that is absolutely none of our business, it's Tara and Drusilla.
Can't even see them. I guess they're not both.
Doesn't
on
look
their
like
knees.
anything to me.
That wouldn't make any sense, Kristin. I know how sex
Oh my
works,
God.
you guys.
In slot number 3.
When they were talking about getting on their knees, they just meant like both getting on their knees and kissing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
just a little lower for a change.
The variety, the spice of life.
Yeah.
In slot number 3, she beheaded him in one reality.
Were you going to say, will she give him head in this reality?
No, Kristen.
Where were you going?
Absolutely not. I was trying to think of any way that I could make somebody think about that without saying it. And
Okay,
it worked
but you
on you.
were.
Just an incredibly pregnant pause.
Wow. Unfair,
Mission accomplished.
rude.
It's Spike and Cordelia.
Fucking, I'm sorry. I didn't say it, just for the record. Jenny said it. She just said it with her mind.
And in slot number 4, trying with all their might to resist the gravitational pull between them, possibly to little or no effect. We'll see. It's Anya and Anyanka.
Remember earlier when you gave me a fuck, marry, kill and one of the options was my body inhabited by Frank? I just want to make sure that you remember you did that.
Should we put that in the poll?
No, fuck no. And don't write in, otherwise I'll ban you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that nothing I say for this entire year counts. Because I feel like that it
have
extends
operational to me because I have to try to manage you, you know?
I'm unmanageable. If you want to vote in our increasingly unhinged poll, please visit bufferingcast.com/STA. Kristin is writing a note off screen, and I am concerned that
it's like when your
officers are about to appear at my house.
It's like when your therapist pulls out the pad and pen, and you're like, shit. I was just writing down the noms because you added one that we didn't have. I just want to make sure I have a record of it for my notes.
Yeah. So if you visit bufferingcast.com/STA, that will direct you to this episode's Sexual Tension Award poll. You can cast your cute little vote. Mm-hmm. We will count it among many others. And make a difference. Make your voice heard in this incredibly important poll.
I would like everyone to know, just in case you don't participate in the polls, that the noms from last episode I extrapolated, and they were Ghost Jonathan and Spike in the cemetery with a pottery wheel, Ghost Jonathan sliding a coin up the wall for Spike in the cemetery, Ghost Jonathan saying ditto to Spike in the cemetery, and Spike kissing Whoopi Goldberg, but actually it is Jonathan in the cemetery. I'm really proud of myself.
I love it.
The pottery wheel is winning right now with 57% of the vote.
Congrats, pottery wheel. Long may you reign.
Sexual Tension Award.
Well, beautiful friends, as much as Kristin may wish it were not so, I am Jenny Owen Youngs. And when we are not podcasting, I am usually making music. I put out 2 records this year. One is called Off Air from the Forest Floor, and it's an instrumental album. And the other is called Avalanche. It's just an album full of songs about my little feelings. And you can listen to them wherever you listen to music. You know what else you could do? A week from today, on December 14th, I will be playing my annual Tidings of Comfort and JOY holiday concert stream. If you go to jennyowenyoungs.com, you can find information, get a ticket, join me. Got a Frank cam. It's a really good time every year. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love the holidays. I love spreading the good news about verses 2, 3, and 4 of Jingle Bells, among other things. Consider joining me, and also consider giving me a shout on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok at Jenny Owen Youngs.
You know, Jenny, I don't know if you know this, but you know the little marshmallows that are dandies, the vegan marshmallows?
Oh, yeah.
We found mini dandies that are peppermint, and they're so good. If you can find some, you should get them for your holiday show and drink them in your cocoa, which I'm sure you'll be drinking. So.
Yes.
My name is Kristin Russo. When I'm not telling Jenny about the marshmallows she should get to ring in the holidays, I am usually working with and for LGBTQ folks. You can learn about that on my website, KristinOlean.com. Find me using that spelling of my first and middle name on socials. And when I'm not doing one of those 2 things, I'm usually trying to get the image of my own body possessed by the spirit of Jenny's dog out of my mind.
Hell yes! Buffering the Vampire Slayer is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at BufferingCast. You could drop us an email at hello@bufferingcast.com.
I just thought, I don't know, Frank does get so excited when you throw a stick, and that kind of joy really does seem quite not. Maybe I should strive for this.
The joy of dogs is nearly inaccessible to us, but a great goal to reach for.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to support us in our quest to feel the joy that is inside of dogs, you can support our work. No?
No, you keep going. Sorry.
Support us. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/bufferingcast. We just started, actually yesterday, hopefully, if I did my work, we released our podcast on Spike, all of our Spike feelings, wrapping up Pumpkin Spike Autumn. Which means we are now officially across the threshold and into Want Take Winter, where we will be rolling around in all of the faith Lahane our hearts can hold for the next 3 months. Jenny is using her 2 pointer fingers, also known as index fingers, and hooking them together and trying to pull them apart, but they won't come apart because they love each other so much.
Well said. This episode.
Everyone is like, please don't mention us, actually. LaToya and John Mark and Mac are like, leave our names out of your mouths, actually.
This episode was produced by Kristin, Russo, Jenny Owen Youngs, and our beloved LaToya Ferguson, with support from our incredible consultant, Mackenzie McDade. It was edited by the undefeated champion, John Mark Nelson. Until next time,
Ow. I almost barked like a dog and I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Talmor, Shishin Murachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what lies within nothing?
No.
Do you know where it ends? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Counterbalance, a high fantasy audio drama. Season 2, coming 15th of October 2023. Learn more on trilunas.com.